another special night for the Nixus podcast. Tuesday, we're live. What's going on? Knightfall, Patrick, Jessica, Keith. Pleasure to have you here. Today we are promoting Starfall. Epic music, epic video. Guys, it is amazing. I fell off my chair watching it. I was screaming, dragons! Like, big Game of Thrones fans over here, so. Robert. What's up, Robert?
Hey, Robert.
So yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it a little bit. Get a chance to get some people in here, and then we'll watch it. So Keith came up with the music, and then it was sent over to all of you guys, right?
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
Did you write the lyrics, Jessica?
I wrote some of the lyrics. Keith started them and I finished them, which is kind of an arrangement that we've had in the past too. He starts them and I finish them.
It's nice to have everybody's essence right in the song, so then everybody
Absolutely.
can connect.
Yeah.
So Jessica is from a band also, an area, right?
An aria, yep.
So awesome band. They just came out with the cover of Him. I'm a big Him fan.
Me too.
Wings of a Butterfly. It's really good. I love it. I listened to
Thank you.
the reel last night. I saw it and I was like, whoa, that's Him. Big
Yeah.
fan.
I know I'm actually seeing Villa Below next month and it's the first time I'm seeing him live and I'm so excited.
So jealous. So jealous. One of my friends got to go see him, and she actually met him after the show.
Ooh, that's
So-
awesome.
Yeah, he just walked out and just shook hands with people, took pictures. So maybe you'll get a chance to see him too. He's very approachable, very
That would
down
be
to
awesome.
earth. It's amazing. You want to talk about your band a little bit? Situate us. What kind of music do you do? Because we heard you with Knightfall, but what about you?
Yep. So Knightfall is definitely more in that symphonic power metal realm, and Anaria used to have some more symphonic power metal roots. We have branched out of that. We're more in like the melodic hard rock direction now. We still maintain some of those symphonic influences. We're probably more closely aligned with like a band like Lacuna Coil. We're more in that vein nowadays. But we like experimenting with various sounds as well. We're not afraid of pop roots. I know some people don't like that, but we love pop choruses and we incorporate them all the time.
It's catchy. It's I don't care what people say. You if you catch people's attention, if you put a melody in their ear, you're gone. You're good to go. You're gold.
Yeah. It's all about the fun, you know?
You have to have fun. This business is nothing without having fun.
Yep, I agree.
And what about you, Patrick? Give us a little insight on your background. Cheers.
A little insight on my background regarding my glorious and exciting life or this project
In general.
in general.
Where do you do music? I'm sure you don't only play guitar for Knightfall. I'm sure you have your own side
No.
projects.
I've been a session musician for years. I lived in Los Angeles for a long time. I toured Asia and was a music teacher at a university in southern China for a long time.
Wow.
But I am from the South. I'm from Kentucky. And that's where I have been pretty much situated for the past 15 years or so, running a small music school where we teach violin, keys, vocals, guitars, drums, bass, dulcimer, kazoo, triangle, anything you need.
That's amazing.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty much what I've been doing, just for the past 35 years. So I mean, it's a
Just for the past 35 years, very that's nothing. When I talked to Keith, we had a talk about how you guys all met and everything. So if you guys want to just catch up the viewers that might have not watched the episode with Keith, so whoever wants to go ahead.
You want to take lead on this one, Keith?
Sure.
Yeah.
So I'll start with Jeff first. We have known each other for well over a decade, probably about 14 years now.
Mhm.
And how we met was we held an open audition for Even's Ethos at a gaming store of all places. And we had, I found you, Reverb or Band Mix or something like that, and we had talked and I invited you out to the audition.
Yeah, I think it was band mix.
We lost you, Keith.
Oh, can you hear me?
Oh, now you're back.
No, right.
Yeah. So she came out for the audition and she nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. And we basically were like, yeah, come join us. And we had our first rehearsal probably within that week with her. So it was an incredible. And then we just, we worked together for a couple of years, and then I kind of took a step back after we released the EP a few months later. And Jeff continued on with Even Ethos, and then eventually transformed into an aria, and continued doing her thing all of this time while I took a long hiatus from music. So that's how Jeff and I met, and then we reconnected after I formed Knightfall. And she graciously agreed to do the songs with us. Now, what's funny is when I shared my demo folder with her, I did not tell her that when I had written Starfall was written for her. Like, it was written with Ethan's ethos in mind, like the old days. And she just happened to choose that song first, which was just kismet. You know what I mean? So she just
It's meant to be.
Yeah, it was meant to be.
Yep.
Yeah, and then she couldn't stop at just one, so we're gonna have at least one, maybe two more that we're gonna do together on this. So
Very cool.
And then with Patrick, when I got back into music, production was something that I'd never learned. So Patrick is married to my wife's best friend, and my wife was like, "Go hang out with Patrick and do some music lessons and stuff like that." So that's what I ended up doing. But instead of music lessons, we did production lessons because he's been doing it for a long time. So he taught me the basics of production in Pro Tools, and then told me to get Logic Pro and Mac. So I did. And we've been doing that ever since. And then what's cool is, as I was showing him some of the demos, he was like, "This is actually pretty awesome." And then I asked him if he wanted to play guitar for me on the tracks and for most of the album, and he was like, "Sign me up." And that's kind of how that went down.
I mean, a lot of people would have said sign me up. Your music is at the base, like it is for me. It's like a whole voyage. Like it's like I'm taking a whole trip when I'm listening to your music. I mean, Starfall is not an exception. My favorite was The Musketeers. We talked about that during the interview.
Yeah.
Starfall just knocked it out. I mean, still massive respect to all the singers that you have featured with you. But now Starfall is like, it's my big thing now. You drove to the boonies too?
That's my wife. But yes, Patrick did come out to my studio multiple times, which is in the boonies, and she's not lying there.
Well, since I persuaded him to switch over to a compatible system, then we could pretty much work remotely too. So that worked out pretty well. But yeah, so it's like, with technology being what it is and all that stuff, it's pretty far out that so many people in this project, scattered throughout the country, scattered throughout the globe, can work together and really produce just really quality content, really good music. And, 10 years ago, this would have been, if not virtually impossible, entirely impossible. So I think it's far out. Like I've said, it really is wild. Keith and I live pretty close to one another. We're both here in South Central Kentucky. But like I've said, it's just so neat that there have been so many different people involved in this project, just scattered throughout the globe.
And there's going to be even more with your other song that you're doing, which I'm slacking. I'm sorry. The kids are going back to school. I will be sending you the files. I don't want to miss my occasion to be on a Knightfall track. Come on.
Right.
I mean, that's a crazy, I love the idea. So let's take a break, listen to the song real quick, so then we can start talking about the whole production, the whole dragons and everything, guys. It blew my mind. Like, seriously, the production on the video is crazy.
Yes, phenomenal.
Crazy. Oh, yes. So here you go, guys. Enjoy this, because I surely did. I mean, come on now. Fuck. Give me a chance to find some words. Okay, how many costume changes?
4 or 5, I think.
I mean, you gamer girl, healer with the grayish hair, the red hair. This is crazy. I'm sorry. I'm a big video game fan, MMORPG, so I was like, oh, look at her. She's picking a healer on top of it. Like, that crazy guitar solo, Patrick. Wow.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
It comes in right at the same time as Jessica hits that really high, powerful note, and it just... Woo.
You know, and the crazy thing about the way that worked out is most of the time, I improvise my solos. I'll do 2 or 3 or 4 different ones, and then Keith and I will pick the one that we think fits best. And that one just happened to line up with the vocals like perfectly. So I was super surprised when we got the track back with the vocals on it. So
I mean, that was the first listen. I caught it, and now this time every time I watch the video, I see something different. I see something, and I saw the quest for the amulet. I saw it's like a whole storybook. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love it. Dan says.
Hey, Dan.
Thank you. Thank you.
How long did it take to film that?
So we filmed over the course of a few days. So my husband and I have a production company. We're up in the White Mountains in New Hampshire, and we are just surrounded by all of this gorgeous scenery. So everything you're seeing in the video was done all around us locally. We just have all of these beautiful mountain views. You know, I hiked mountains in dresses to get the footage. It was a really interesting time. But we did it. Yeah, we did it over the course of a few days, and then Sergio, my husband, is just insane, and he edited it all in a few nights with all of the special effects, and it was done. And
Wow.
I was very surprised he got it all done on such a tight deadline.
Like in just a few days? Like
Yeah.
That's massive production. I mean,
We were not planning for it to release the day that we released the song, but then like Thursday night, he's like, "Hey," and I was like, "What?"
Is it that?
I mean, all the hard work paid off because it's not a small feat. 42,000 plays, and that's only on YouTube.
Almost 45.
What 42,000 yesterday?
Yeah.
Almost 45 now. It is incredible, like incredible. It shows that when you put money and you put time and effort into your craft, it pays off.
Yep.
Like making those big production videos, they don't come cheap.
Nope.
But this is a result, though.
The end result is perfect.
I mean, and with the song, it's like who came up with the storyboard for the video?
I had the concept. So I had the concept in my head that the song was written in 2020. And it was written during COVID. It was written, you know, when everything was just kind of uncertain. There was a lot of riots. I mean, potential war with North Korea going on. I mean, there was all kinds of stuff happening when I wrote it. So the theme of it happened, you know, what happens if someone decides to press the button and launch the nukes? You know, what happens to our world? So then the concept was with the VR MMO, you know, what if you're enjoying yourself, you're playing your game, you know, kind of like a Sword Art Online type of thing, and then you come out of the game to the end of the world. And then I gave that to Sergio, and Sergio was like, all right. And he sent me this entire storyboard of stuff.
Put back the glasses on. I'm going back. MMO.
So, but he gave me a full storyboard. Like when I say that he was like this was like a professional production, like beyond my wildest dreams. I recommend Wildthorn Productions, Sergio, Jessica, for all of your video needs because they will take care of you and take care of your music, I promise. So.
I mean, we can see the results. Courageous Jessica walking up that mountain, climbing up that mountain with her dresses on.
It was an experience.
Keith was telling me that you do all your costumes too.
I do. Yep, I make them from scratch. I've been sewing since I was like 12 years old. So over 20 years.
I mean, what are we doing with our lives, guys? Well, what am I doing with my life? I mean, this girl's putting me to shame. Do you sleep?
Yes, I do.
Oh, and she sleeps on top of it. I mean, I'm done, guys. I'm done.
Crazy time management over here.
You don't have a choice, right? When you're so busy,
No
when
choice.
you have so much stuff to do, you got to keep on it.
Yes.
I mean, I'm all excited about the video. I want to start it again. But let's not do that. We have to talk. Gianna's here. Seth is here. Got a lot of people coming in, popping in, saying hi. I mean, you guys are awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So let's see. Let's have a fun question here, because it is still a branch of the NYXUS podcast. So we've been MMORPG right now, healers, and if you guys could have a superpower, what would it be?
Ooh.
If you've seen the TV show Heroes,
Yes.
I would love Peter Petrelli's power to be able to recall any power that I come in contact with whenever I need it.
Okay. I mean, it's a good one. I'd be more like Claire, because I'm a klutz. So, if I break a bone, I could heal it right away myself. That would be pretty fucking awesome.
I've always been a really big fan of the Dark Phoenix, so probably telekinesis or some subset of that for me.
Patrick's in deep thoughts.
Oh no, I'm not in deep thought. I'm in. I mean, it's if I had a superpower, or rather, if I were a superhero, I would be Tuno, and my power would be for guitars to fucking magically keep themselves in tune. Because I have spent thousands and thousands of hours of my life tuning instruments. And I just want one to just fucking stay in tune.
That's too much to ask for your instruments.
I mean, between the session work and I've had hundreds of students over the years, I can't tell you how much time I've spent tuning instruments. So if I could just wiggle my fingers at an instrument and it were to just magically tune itself, I think that would be a superpower that would really pay off.
Don't they have a guitar like that? That has
don't.
No,
No.
it's not. No.
Don't
They
get me
pretend.
started on that. There was a short period of time that Gibson was making a Les Paul that had mechanical tuners on it that supposedly could tune itself. Yeah, that didn't work out so well, because it turned out the robot was retarded and you basically just had to spend that much more time fucking with it. So it was a nightmare.
So now you relied on them, and then it didn't work, so you had to still do it yourself. I got it.
That's right. Until artificial intelligence gets so good that Skynet can tune my guitars, I think we're going to have to do this manually.
I don't want AI to get too good. AI is scary. I've always said it. AI scares me.
It's.
I've said for years that Terminator is not a fantasy movie.
No, that will happen.
I've said it for years. Even before all the AI stuff that's happening now.
Oh
The
no,
warning is there.
they warned us. We didn't listen. I mean,
Yep.
it's all fine and dandy till you're watching something and they're like, oh yeah, well the AI's starting to feel.
Yeah.
Nope. No.
I'm good.
Yeah, we'll
No.
pass on that.
No,
Nope.
I don't want any, but no, we're good. I have a hard time with my feelings, so let's not ask AI to deal with feelings, please. No way. How long did it take you, Patrick, to track?
Oh gosh, Keith. I guess for one of the songs we would get together in an evening, and of course I was doing the rhythm guitars and the bass and the lead work and the little harmonies and the lead fills. I would say we would typically spend 3, maybe 4 hours doing all of the guitar parts, kind of writing them, structuring them, and getting them tracked to the point we were happy with them. Well, that sounds about right, don't you think, Keith? 3 or 4 hours per song?
For the most part. Usually when I create the demo, I put together some kind of guide track for rhythm, just to give Patrick kind of an idea of what's in my head, the best of my ability, because I'm not a guitarist, I just pretend to be one. And then Patrick takes my ideas and basically writes more stuff into it than I would have been able to play. And then he does all of his solo stuff, which I can't even remotely fathom some of the times. I can do it like this, like, and then he plays exactly what I need him to play.
Well, to each our talents, right? Because I mean, you're saying, oh, I couldn't do what Patrick does. I couldn't do, like, you do your own stuff too. I mean, this
Yes.
whole production, the whole putting everything together, the violins, the orchestra, come on, like, give yourself some credit too. You guys
Absolutely.
together are a solid unit. Like,
It's a
and
hell of a
that's what-
team.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
And we can hear it in the music. You guys are cohesive.
Yeah.
It's not, there's nothing that, oh, that sounds either out of place. Like the voice, everything is just, like I said, when I heard that guitar and that high note at the same time, it's magic. Magic.
That probably wasn't planned. Like, that wasn't planned to go that way. It
Yeah,
just
it
kind
just-
of happened. But whenever I've worked with musicians in the past, there has to be some kind of connection. There has to be some kind of, similar mindset in order for it to really work, right? Jess and I have had that from day one. So when we, started working on this song, like she said, she finished the lyrics. I had an idea, but I didn't know where to take it for the second verse. And I was like, what do you think? And boom, next thing I know, like, I don't know, a week later, you had everything to me. And I was like, this is perfect. But that's the way she and I have always worked together musically. Like, she just understands my mind and I understand hers. And then the same thing kind of happened with Patrick. When we started working together, like, it became a very similar relationship where he just understood what my goal was and where my head was, and he was able to complement that with, all the things that he does, because he's also an orchestrator and a composer and does symphonic stuff and understands where I'm coming from with all of that as well. So it just works perfectly.
It's just so difficult to find musicians that you really click with. I've done tons of session work. I've played with a lot of people, and it really is kind of touching on the point that Keith is making. So difficult, first of all, to find musicians to work with that you like and that you just get along with as human beings. And then you've got to kind of be simpatico creatively too. So it's really difficult to find and make those connections. But when you do, it can really be just a thing of beauty, just an awesome thing.
That's why you see a lot of movement in bands in general. A lot of bands, a lot of people leave, people come, and it's just normal. Like, I see a lot of people panic, all those bands are just like, it's normal. It just wasn't working. People don't have the same goals. Some people like to do music just for fun, and some people actually want to do a career out of this. Sorry, I got distracted because there's a kitty cat behind there. I was wondering what was moving. If you guys have any questions, people listening right now, everybody's really quiet. It's kind of like, if you guys have questions, go ahead, ask them. They're here to answer your questions, especially about the video. I mean,
well, I know that Jessica's, on a time
Yes.
table here, so I figured we'd give her a little bit of a chance to talk about what's coming up for her and Aria.
absolutely.
And her videos, because I'm sure you've seen some of the stills, and I really want to know more about that costume with the snake.
With the
Just saying.
snake. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh yeah, so we have some good friends that we met in the haunt industry, and they take in animals. They have about 40 different snakes, and they're animal ambassadors. They run a bunch of educational programs, and Sergio was talking to them, and he's like, you think that we could use some snakes in a video? And they're like, sure. So the other day, like 2 days ago or so, they brought 3 of their snakes up to our house, and we have a pond set up in our basement with kind of like a rainfall effect. So here I am standing in this latex dress with a blind mask on, with 2 giant snakes wrapped around my shoulders, performing. There's water pouring down the back of my mask. I can't see anything. And there's just 2 snakes just chilling on me. So
We've all been there.
We've all been chilling with 2 snakes.
And yeah, Vlad and Matilda are their names. They were wonderful. I mean, they just chilled on me, and they were great. They didn't mind the water coming down on them or anything. And so that's for a song called "The Sandman."
There we go.
Yep, that's
Yep,
the one.
there it is.
There they are. They're so cute. I loved them. So yeah, the song is called "The Sandman," and the lyrical content is, kind of based on the story of The Sandman by Neil Gaiman. So that'll be a fun release, but we've basically been doing music videos for every single song that's coming out on our next album, which will be, the whole album will be out the beginning of next year sometime. But we will be dropping singles and music videos leading up to that. So we have filmed several music videos so far. We've got all different concepts going on for them. And then we're planning to release cover songs in between as well.
Which
So-
there is the hymn cover for
Yep, we just did the hymn cover.
Wings of Butterfly, which is one of my favorite hymn songs.
It's so good. It's such a great song. And we just did a performance video for that. We have a contact with a mansion down in Massachusetts, and they have this giant ballroom with this pipe organ facade in the back, and we're like, well, that's just perfect for a hymn song. It's got that whole gothic vibe to it. So we did a performance video there. Sergio edited that all up, so that's another Wild Thorn piece. Kendall is our other girl who does filming, so she filmed us. And
That's
Nice.
amazing. You had a lot of people featuring in that video. That's all people close to you. That's
In Starfall,
yeah, in Starfall.
in Starfall.
yeah, they put out a casting call to anybody that wanted to be part of the video, and those are the people that decided to show up and take part.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you look at the description in the actual Starfall video, all of them are credited there for each of their roles. So you can go check. Some of them do have like socials and stuff, like Jasmine, for example, which they had that really cool like Viking makeup on.
Yep.
She does makeup tutorials and all that stuff on TikTok and whatnot.
Awesome.
So she's pretty talented.
Very cool. If you guys go on Facebook and go check Jessica's page, you can see all the costumes that she has, all the Elvira costume. I mean, it's fucking brilliant. I love
My
it.
favorite. I love her.
I love it.
Like, Jeff has been cosplaying that one for a long time.
Since like
It is
2006.
It is epic. Yeah.
I mean, those pictures are awesome. There's so many costumes. There's so it's like cosplay every day for you. It's like Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Jasmine says
Yeah.
thank you.
You're welcome, Jasmine.
So coming up in the next few months, we're looking at cover songs from an area. We're looking at singles. How many is the album finished, or are you guys still in the process? It's finished.
Nope, it's finished. Yeah, it's completely finished. So we're just working on getting the videos together. The hymn cover will go on the album as a bonus track because we want to get that out there. We felt that like closely aligned with our sound on this album too, because we've got a lot of gothic vibes going on, sort of these gothic rock vibes, which tracks back to our history as well. But it was a good fit. And yeah, it's all different songs. We have all kinds of videos planned, and they're all crazy.
I'm sure they are. I mean, you climbed the mountain in a dress.
I did.
Did you have heels on?
No, I wore
Okay.
sensible shoes.
Good. I was like, she's trying to break an ankle or something. Is the dragon real? No, I'm kidding. I'm a big,
Yeah, we
big
found him up at the mountaintop.
You
He was
never
just up
know.
there.
man. I'm a big fan of Game of Thrones. So I mean, if you tell me there's a dragon somewhere, I'm a drive. I'm a walk. I'm a see it. I'm
And
gonna see it.
Sergio was so excited to finally put a dragon in something.
Well, tell Sergio thank you very much for the dragon, because I'm excited every time I see it zoom by.
We had a blast figuring it out. Like when he sent me the storyboards, I was like, "Oh, you read my mind like on everything." Like I was like, "Yes, still doing more videos with you in the future."
Kyle says
I
hi.
Hey, Kyle.
Yeah, us fantasy nerds and our wild imaginations.
Exactly. I think that's why I shared the video with all my gaming friends. I was like, look, they're playing a video game. I'm a big, like I said, big MMORPG fan. So the video like hit really. I think you guys hit the nail right on the head with the market. Like the Game of Thrones is very popular still with.
Witcher. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the fantasy genre is not going anywhere, and I'll create stuff that I love, and that's what you should do. You should create stuff that you love, and it resonates because you're creating something that you absolutely love and enjoy. This is stuff that I would listen to and I would watch if I was picking something to watch. So basically, what you're seeing is us. Like that's who we are.
Well, it's a lot of work. It pays off, like I said. I mean, to have done this in a couple of days, filming, and then a couple of days for Sergio to finish it off.
Mhm.
I mean, that's pretty incredible. I was excited when Keith messaged me and he was like, "Oh, we're ready, you know." And then I saw the video and I was like, "Are you insane? Like, this is crazy." It's nice to see the level of production, you know, because we see big bands doing those big videos and those big, and it's like everybody has in their head like, "Oh, we can't do it." No, you
Mhm.
can. You absolutely can.
This is proof of it. You can't stand toe to toe with a band that has label back.
Yes.
Absolutely.
can.
Are you looking into making other videos like that, Keith, for your song, for the start or the Nightfall songs?
Yep, I've got a GoFundMe. So these videos are expensive, you know. So being the producer myself, it's hard to keep the money flowing for that. So I have to set up a GoFundMe for anybody that does want to donate. Every little bit helps. One of the plans that I have, so a couple of the vocalists that are going to be coming up, Pete Rockcliffe, Marcos Pinade, and Stephanie Keogh, they're all in the UK. So one of the things that I would love to be able to do is bring a film crew over there and actually do videos with their stuff as well. And there's at least one song where Jessica is going to be singing with them, and that one's the title track, Destiny Calling. Where I'm going to have almost everybody that's on this album perform something in that song. So it's pretty nifty. I can't wait to see what comes of it. But yes, we do need help growing some funds to be able to get over the pond to England to be able to make that happen.
So make sure you guys go on the Nightfall page because I know that you posted the GoFundMe
Yeah.
there.
The GoFundMe is there, and then also if you go to our website, www.knightfallband.com, there's a link to the donation page there as well.
Perfect. And I will share it later. If you can't donate, guys, we understand. Times are hard for everybody, back to school. If you can't donate, share. You never know what a share can do.
Mhm.
Yeah. And even something as small as $5
Mhm.
goes a long way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, skip your Starbucks one day and
Yeah,
send
that's
it to Nightfall. I mean, it sounds stupid, but it literally is that. Make your own coffee at home one day. Do it for 3 days and get a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Right.
You
And
know
there
what I mean?
are, and I am doing like certain things too. So like if you look at the donate in the GoFundMe and stuff like that, anybody that does do a donation of $40 and more is going to get a free signs. You know, so there's stuff there too. There's some incentives to donate and help out.
I mean, that's pretty cool. You know, like that's it's nice to give back to people, but it's nice for people to support the artists that we like. I always say merch. I mean, I'm starting to be covered with merch over here. I'm lucky because I get a lot of the bands that I interview that are like, "Hey, let me send you some merch," because I will represent the bands everywhere I go. We hit festivals all the time, and I like to wear shirts of bands that are not playing because that way people are like, "Ooh, who's that band? They're not here tonight." Brilliant thing, by the way, guys, really quick, if you guys do merch, this little QR code, come on, that's brilliant. I saw it
so
and I was
good.
like, what is
cool.
that? And I was like, oh, if I walk around, somebody can QR my back and have their link tree.
Nice.
So,
That is smart.
very random fact, but I mean, that little trick, I guess, I thought it was really cool. Like,
No, that's great.
somebody could just QR and be like, oh, who are these guys? So, yeah.
You know, at this point, I feel like I'm so old. It's like I learned what QR meant, like, I don't know, 3 days ago. So it's like, I don't know what the hell is going on. I'm amazed that I managed to figure out how to do this. So,
I mean, StreamYard is supposedly fail-proof, but we've had issues. So we've had issues of people not coming in. But like you said, your computer's just too fancy for StreamYard.
yeah, it's, what can I say? It's too big for its britches.
Go back on your cell phone.
Right.
So I don't want to keep you too long, Jessica. I don't know if you got to go. Patrick, the same thing. Keith told me that you guys are a little more busy than the average bear. So whenever you guys got to go, just let me know. And,
Sure.
Because
I haven't been summoned yet, so
Awesome. Because before you go, I have to hit you up with Keith knows the NYXUS question. I ask everybody that comes sit with me the same question at every interview. So before you go, I will hit you with that question. So, Patrick, for you, what's coming up in the next months?
Well, about 6 months ago, I got an endorsement with the Vienna Symphonic Library in Austria. And like Keith mentioned earlier, I grew up really dedicating a lot of time to rock. I mean, that was kind of my first love. Started playing piano when I was 6, and then drums, and then bass, and really fell in love with all the neoclassical shred stuff like Ingve and all that. And then at the risk of sounding, pretentious and goofy, that really did transpire into a love of orchestral and classical music. I mean, I hate to say classical, but really what I mean is just large ensembles, just large groups of instruments. A rock band is a fantastic thing. And if you take 3 truly competent musicians, they can give you a symphony. You can learn so much about studying quartet composition. But really at this point, what I spend most of my time doing as far as personal creative projects are concerned is writing really, kind of long, elaborate pieces for large ensembles using this incredible technology we've got now. It's the VSL, and I think Keith uses like BBC Orchestra, and and it just what's that?
East-West, the sound online.
East-West, yeah, you used East-West.
Okay.
And the VSL. So at this point, what I'm doing is I am writing pieces of music for the Vienna Symphonic Library, and then making video screencasts of those productions in order to promote their software. And I actually had a kind of a cool, I guess you could say, musical cameo a few months ago when a piece of music I wrote got used in a video for Gravity Industries, which is this far out thing, man. It's jetpacks. We were talking about AI, we're talking about Skynet, we're talking about Terminators. Shit, if we don't give jetpacks a shout out, I don't know what the hell is going on here. So yeah, but there's a jetpack company. I kid you not. You strap a thing to your back and then you fly around like Iron Man. So this is fantastic, bizarre technology that, again, is based in the UK. And they ended up using one of my large-scale orchestral pieces in one of their demonstration videos. So that kind of springboarded me into getting a little more attention with my orchestral music. So, I mean, my heart will always be in rock and roll. But right now, I would have to say my passion is writing music for large ensembles. And that's really what I'm focused on.
That's very cool. Well, congrats on getting, all of that done and all of that. I mean, jetpacks are fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I know. It's insane.
I used to always kid with my friends, like, oh, just wish I had a jetpack to get out of here. Like, you're in a bad situation, you're tired of being there, gone.
Right.
I mean, you'd be surprised with the companies. I mean, quick side note, we found a pigeon courier. Because of Best Pigeon, one day we were sitting down and looking, and he was like, yeah, I found a pigeon courier in the U.S.
I can't believe that still exists.
Fantastic.
So
That's
we
amazing.
haven't gone further, but I'm like, I'm wondering maybe I should send anger overdose a pigeon, like. But no, it's. So you guys are gonna work together again. We're gonna get more music with the 3 of you.
I hope so. Absolutely, yes.
I hope so too. That's why I'm asking.
Yep, there is a couple more tracks.
There he is.
There's later overdose.
I wasn't sure if he was still here. I just said it, but yeah, he's here.
There are a couple more tracks. Like I said, the actual title track, Destiny Calling, is going to have everybody on. Like, as many people that I can get to be on that. That collaborate with me. The only one that I'm unsure of right now is Dee, just because she's been so busy with all of her Fiverr stuff, and she's got her new band, She Found. So she's the only one that's kind of like, sure. but everybody else's game. And then Jessica, the other song that Jessica chose was one of the first ones I wrote coming back to the music world, which is the outro track, which is called Farewell, which is one of the longer ones, but it starts off, it's a ballad, basically. It starts off with a ballad, and then there's this big instrumental midsection, and then it ends, ballad-esque. And she also wanted to do that one, and I was like, what? Why don't you twist my arm a little bit more,
Right? No, okay, I'll give it to you.
Of course. So, yeah, you can sing that one. But what's funny is that one was also written more with the Evans ethos, the old Inaria stuff in mind. So again, the two tracks that she wanted to do are the ones that I literally wrote for her anyway. So,
I mean, subconsciously, you knew. You know what I mean? When you made those tracks, you made them with her in mind. So knowing what she sings, knowing her style, knowing her.
Right.
So by her listening to them, she probably felt very familiar already to them. Very like a feeling of home almost,
Yeah. So
with an area, do you write the lyrics and everything?
Yep, lyrics and melody.
So busy woman.
and all of the harmonies.
And all the harmonies. I do all my own harmonies. I don't manufacture them in the studio. So
Awesome.
I spend time actually figuring them out. And
Can we do that? Fuck. Come on now. Are you telling me that could have been done in studio and I didn't have to? Fuck, come on. No, it's okay. I'd rather do my harmonies myself also, but I did not know that they could be manufactured.
I'm telling you what, and Jessica, as far as harmonies are concerned, real harmonies, man, because harmony is music. Music is harmony. That's what makes music is harmony. Yeah. And it's for years and years. You could buy a guitar pedal that would create the harmonies for you. Thirds, fifths, whatever you're going for, all your conventional harmonies. And it just always sounds so artificial and synthetic. And that's one of those things that if I'm doing a lead part that's got a harmony track to it, sure, you could use some fancy little gizmo or some robot that's going to generate those for you. But it's just not going to, it just doesn't sound right, So, I would rather do like you and sit there for 10, 15, 20 minutes, however long it takes to really find the right harmony and just actually track it. And I don't know, there's something about that. It just seems, I think there's a very big difference between manufactured harmonies and actual tracked, real take harmonies.
It's a big learning curve, but once you learn your harmonies, once you hear them, it's just comes easily after. I don't know if it was the same for you, Jessica. It's at first you got to find them, and then it's kind of comes a little easier. For me, it depends on the songs. I just covered Creep from Radiohead, and that one, the harmonies came out like no problem. And then I'll cover another song that I'm like, where's my harm? I can't find, fuck it.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to spend a little bit of time with it and, get a real sense for the environment of the song before you can land on what the correct harmony is going to be. And sometimes it's not always just straightforward thirds and fifths. A computer can synthesize those and they'll be the right notes, but it doesn't have the same impact as a vocalist just finding out what those right harmonies are and crafting something.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I mean, it's more than that too, because sometimes with manufactured harmonies like that, it still doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
Because maybe it's not the third and the fifth that you have to hit in that moment, right? So, again, that's the reason why when Jess takes a song, I'm like, I give her almost complete creative license when she does vocals. I give her the, my idea, and then I say, have fun, and she does her thing. And that's, again, how we've always worked, even from a long time.
Sorry, distracted by cuteness. Toddler just walked into the room.
Oh, I was about to say, sorry, it happens to the best of them anytime they're around me.
Ice cream. Ice cream face. But no, it's anger. Stop talking about pizza every time he does that to me. He talks about pizza and then I want pizza. Now all I can think about is
make
pizza.
us all want pizza.
Right? How do you find your melodies? Like, do you just listen to the song and it just pops up? Are you that lucky that is, you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, but a lot of it is listening to the instrumental portion and figuring out where that melody is going to sit with everything else that's going on, what level of intensity I want that melody to be moving at. And then it's really important to think about the lyrics as well, because if you want to do any text painting, it can really impact where the song goes.
Absolutely. I've been trying to write songs and stuff again, and my brain is like not working. So I've been trying to teach myself how to listen to the melody, how to find a melody, and it's not easy. So for to be able to just sit down and just listen, and you're very blessed. I mean, I'm sure you've been working at it. I'm sure it's not your first song either. So the more you do, the better it gets, right?
Yeah.
Practice
I was raised on music. My dad was in a touring bluegrass band in the 80s. So, I started in blues and Americana and country music, and that music is very closely associated with really intense harmonies. So I built on top of that, and that really gave me a solid structure for songwriting. And then I pursued classical voice afterwards, and just that opened up a whole new realm, and it's been really fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, and like I said earlier, it pays off. You've been singing since a young age, I'm guessing, yes?
Yep.
So it's common in everybody that does these interviews that most people did start at a very young age to do music.
Mm-hmm.
So that is really cool. Would you guys have anything you want to mention while we have people here that are being very quiet tonight? Guys, you're very quiet tonight. Do you want to tell them anything? Anything we should check out? Anything we should keep our eyes open for? Patrick, where can we see your work? Because we keep talking. Other than
Sure.
Keith, where can we find you?
Sure, pretty much anywhere. Spotify, I've got tons of recordings. I've got half a dozen albums on Spotify. I've got a ton of, of course, that's all linked to YouTube. And I've got some stuff on YouTube. I mean, just pretty much anywhere you would find anybody else. I do also, I guess I'll mention that I do a lot of session work. So if anybody out there listening to the Knightfall stuff, if you like what you're hearing in terms of guitar and bass work, that is a service I provide remotely. You send me a song, give me a description of what you want, or tell me exactly what you want, or just let me do whatever the hell I want to, and I guarantee you're going to be happy with the results. So anybody up there needing session work, I love the fact that I can do that from home now. And of course, over the past few years, like everybody else, I guess I've gotten into the habit and I've gotten spoiled, and I want to work from home more. I still teach at a school 3 days a week, but I'm trying to do as much as I can out of the house because I don't like leaving the house as much. What can I say?
I feel that. I feel that. I was already like that before, and then COVID hit, and that was
Right.
it. I was like, I don't have to leave the house anymore. And now I'm socially anxious to leave the house. I mean, the festival was awesome, but I was like, this is too many people.
Too many
This is
people,
way
yeah.
Too many people. I'm not sure if I want to, put that question up, but I'm gonna guess that you're talking about guitar fret. Does size matter?
Well, yeah, obviously, in every context. I don't know who that question was aimed at. I will assume it was aimed at me because I don't know why. I'm just assuming. I don't know.
The guitars. There you go. The guitars. Does size matter? When you're playing. I was talking with a guy yesterday, Rick from Too Many Bands, and he was telling me like I have over 50 guitars because some necks are smaller, some necks are bigger, some are. The guy has like the
Sure.
wall of guitars. I was like, holy shit. Pizza slices, size matters. See?
Right, pizza slices, guitars, pizza, other things. Yes, it's all relevant. You know,
New York slice. It does. You're right.
yeah, but the problem with the New York slice, man, it's pretty floppy. Anyway, you stepped right into that one, friend. But no, as far as guitar necks and frets are concerned, if we have anybody interested in the technical minutia of instrument, that is purely a matter of personal preference. I can play Yngwie songs, which are super fast, technical shred songs, on a 1950s Les Paul, which has just a baseball bat of a neck. I mean, it's got a neck that's the size of my wrist. I mean, it's huge. And you can play super, super fast on that. Or, you might want a super little skinny neck like a Stratocaster. As far as the actual fret size is concerned, for the most part, that really just depends on how responsive you want the instrument to be. If you were to take, for example, a Stratocaster and put super jumbo frets on it, that's going to raise the strings off the fretboard to such an extent that you almost feel as if you're playing on a scalloped neck, which has these little cutaways down, which basically gives you more string control. But the funny thing is, you would assume there's this misconception. And I'm sorry, somebody asked a question about guitars. I'm not trying to dominate this conversation, but goddamn, I'm going to answer this question.
Give it to us. Yes.
No, I will. So, moral of the story, it's purely personal preference. There's this common misconception, really that goes back to the 1980s, where you had all the shredders and the super fast guitar players kind of come onto the scene. And they were all playing, little Jacksons and these super strats, very small guitars with super skinny necks that they said were very fast. And ultimately, yes, a really thin neck can make it a little easier to like stretch your hands out farther to reach notes.
Yeah.
But I've seen people play insanely difficult stuff on a Les Paul. I've seen people who just swear they can't play anything other than an Ibanez with a wizard neck on it, which is like playing on a popsicle stick. But I'll just say this to any guitar players out there: if you want to build your chops on electric guitar, spend at least 50% of your time practicing on a steel string acoustic, because that just tones all the muscles in your hands and forearm, because they use heavier strings. And then you pick up, a Les Paul or a Stratocaster or anything, and, it's just comparatively so much easier to play. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
I mean, it's good advice. I'm thinking of having like special little shows like that where we're gonna get like musicians come in and kind of give advice to other musicians. I think it's time to keep going with the whole community that we have that is trying to lift each other up instead of trying to break each other down.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful. Other than Knightfall, does Anaria have any collaboration plans?
We would like to do some collaborations. We haven't planned any yet. That's probably something that we will explore next year. But it's definitely something that we're open to. So if anybody is out there and is interested, feel free to reach out to us.
There you go. I think it's amazing when bands come together and bring their sounds together, and then you kind of have this whole new production, this all new sound. So we're at the 1 hour mark. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play the song a second time for the people that have missed it, and at the same time they'll give me a chance to go get a drink and everybody to take a little breather, and then we'll be right back and we'll keep talking a little bit.
Are we still good, Jeff, or do you have to go?
Haven't been summoned yet.
Okay.
Well, if there's anything, just give us a code and we'll let you go.
You got it.
But for now, let's listen to Starfall again. I mean, I don't get tired of listening to it, so enjoy. Yes, you guys probably caught it now. We talked about it earlier, so now we saw the explosions at the end, and tell you put that VR back on and just go back in my world. It was better with the dragons and the healers. Ames said, "This just takes me away, so beautiful." Ames is my co-host for the NYXUS podcast. She has her own part of it because we got so busy so fast. I needed somebody to help me out. So Ames does the same thing as me, 2 to 3 interviews a week, and we're both booked till November. We are blessed, very
Awesome.
blessed with all of you
Wonderful.
guys. So if an area, once your album is out, if you guys want to come in and have a talk, always welcome. Patrick, always welcome.
Thank
Our
you.
doors are always open to you. Keith, the door's wide open for you. He kicked it down the first time we met. And
Yeah.
since then, it's just been down, and me and him been in contact. Wonderful person. Wonderful musicians and human. Like,
Thank you.
amazing. Seth says, awesome. I can definitely see the influence. I totally agree about Jess for sure. And I also agree. Jess has that voice. She's very humble, which is very important in my opinion in the music world right now. Being humble, being able to be close to your fans, very important. I mean, they're the ones that are listening to the music and buying merch, and so
Can't do it without them.
Yep.
we love Knightfall. So many deaths, for sure, for sure.
Thanks, Ames.
The music is amazing. We had a comment earlier from Seth says, "I'll never get over the extreme power of Jess's voice. Also, instrumentals could rival Nightwish," which is it's completely true. How long does it take you, Keith, to put a song together like that?
I spend on average minimum probably 50 hours on each song.
That's a lot of hours.
If I'm being completely honest, I craft these songs over the course of many days, and it's usually 8 hours or longer per session when I'm doing the tracking, when I'm putting together all of the different instrumentations. I usually have somewhere around 20 tracks that I create for each song because I'm doing strings, I'm doing woodwinds, I'm doing brass. I love me, I've always been French horn, so a lot of songs have French horn in it. So I try to incorporate things that I've never, incorporated before, like for example, in Farewell, there is Irish flutes in there as well. So I'm also learning more as I go on creating these songs. So, it's pretty nifty. And, one of the things that I want to do outside of this is do orchestral music for games, trailers, movies, all that stuff as well. So.
I believe that you could do it for sure. Like those fantasy movies that we all love to watch. Look at Game of Thrones. I'm gonna come back to Game of Thrones all the time because it is life for me.
Yeah.
Now you could do Harry Potter too.
Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, Witcher,
Lord of the Rings.
Dungeons and Dragons. I'm a huge
Yes.
Dungeons and Dragons fan, and now that Henry Cavill's doing like Warhammer stuff, like how cool would that be to write music for that?
We love him.
Yep.
Absolutely, and it's not something that is impossible. With today, we were saying, with the internet, with the way we could connect with people, making those connections is what we need.
I'm already working on music for a game. The current running title of it is called Aspect Heroes, which is a fantasy, like kind of an old school 2D, Diablo type style
Nice.
game that's a little bit more cartoony. So I'm already, parts of Starfall is actually going to be featured in that game, just to let you know. And then, I'm writing other pieces for it as well, and parts of Destiny Calling will also be in there as well. So
It's amazing. Let's see. Seth says, even Michelangelo stayed humble. I'm not
Okay.
going to try to pronounce it, but it says I'm still learning, as a quote he said at age 87. Modesty is so important in the arts. Absolutely.
still imperando. I'm still learning.
It's there's never a limit to learning. You never know everything. Every day is new.
Think about this, guys. I'm going to be turning 40 in a few months, and I came back to music just a couple of years ago, and I've been gone for 10 years. You can do whatever you put your minds to at any point in time. You're never too old, especially with the music industry. You are never too old to make music.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I had a drummer that was 70 years old on the show.
That's awesome.
My youngest one was 15. The oldest one was 70. There's no age for this. This is music is. There's no border. That's why I love seeing you guys working with everybody around the world. Like it's something we couldn't do before. Obviously, we didn't have the technology. But why wouldn't we do it now if we have the ability?
When I left Massachusetts and went to Indiana, we were going to try and do something remotely, but that, me and Jessica and even Zethos, but that never panned out because it's just, we didn't have technology. It just wasn't there. It wasn't viable.
And now, pure technology.
Go there now.
Yeah.
But I also look at it like this too. When we were doing our stuff, like it was good, but we were still young. We were still young as musicians, so it's kind of cool this happened because now we're coming at this as adults, and the product and our musicianship is so much better than it was back then. That now I think this is what was supposed to happen. It may not have seemed like that back then, but
I think music is more accessible now. Learning music is more accessible. There's YouTube. There's growing up, I was lucky to be in a family where they believed that music was important. So I was classically trained to play flute. They offered me to play guitar, but I wanted to play flute because it was cool because nobody else was playing flute. All my friends wanted to learn guitar,
Mine was violin.
I tried that, and it just makes squeaking sound when I tried. I stopped. It sounded like I was hurting it. I stopped. Do you have any advice for musician recording the first song?
That's a good question. Work with musicians who are better than you. No, seriously. Look,
yes.
When you're working with people who are at either a higher level or same level but in a different instrument, there is so much that you can learn from that experience, and it makes you better because you're working with people who are just as good or if not better than you.
Absolutely.
Take your time as well. Don't worry about rushing the song. Some people want to put the song together in 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and just pump it up. It doesn't work that way. If you want to create a good song, put your soul into it and invest in it.
Good advice that I got from somebody else is don't master your own music. Have somebody else do it because we are our worst critics. You'll never be happy. I'm never happy with what I do. Amanda's the one that's always like, it's fine. It's fine. If you play your song one more time, I might kill you. After the 100th time of playing, it's like, put your headphones on.
So one other call out about this song. So again, a shout out to Sergio. Sergio actually mixed and mastered this track. So the Wildthorn Productions, they do everything. Him and Jess, they do everything. So if you want a good, quality, top-notch, professional production company to work on your music with you, they're the ones.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try to remember to share the link so people can go and check you guys out.
Yeah. And Sergio's amazing. He's constantly learning new things. He's familiarizing himself with the ever-evolving industry. So he's always learning new techniques and new ways to just get a great sound for people. So it's always going to be very modern sounding.
That's good. You gotta stay on top of your things. And Seth also a very good advice is do not take out your music until you are 100% happy with it. Because unfortunately you can't take it back and it goes out there and people get copies and then you're kind of like, I could have done better. Speaking from experience, but yes. Seth says Wildthorn production is going to be legendary. I hope so.
We hope so.
They keep doing productions like that. The music's on point. The video is Now I want to see more videos that you guys produced. So
Mm-hmm.
where can we find more videos from Wildthorn Productions?
If you go to our social media accounts, very easy to find us on everything. We are constantly posting behind the scenes and links to the artists that we are working with. So Facebook is a good place because it allows you to post a link so you can go directly to the YouTube. But we worked with a bunch of artists. Above Snakes is a rock band that we've worked with. They do like new metal. They'll have another video coming out in the near future. He's worked with solo artists. He's just always looking for new artists to work with that have creative ideas, that want to do something unusual. That is always appealing to him.
And don't forget, he does photo shoots too for bands.
Yep.
So full production. It's
Yep.
not just
Everything.
music, it's everything.
Everything,
So,
yeah.
That's pretty cool where you can have one person that can take care of all the stuff you need for promotion, for production, for well, definitely I'm gonna go check it out and see, and I will make sure to share, because you never know who needs something done.
Yep.
Can we maybe say that in the next video that we'll get from Knightfall, are we gonna get to see the boys in the video too? Like, are you guys gonna come out and play with your magic?
We'll see. The distance, again, that's all going to depend on whether or not we can raise the money for train. Because that's the problem, is that plane tickets are, they're expensive. No matter what you do. And we are all so remote that the only way to make that happen would be to be able to fund something to bring us together to make it happen.
So
I can see myself playing guitar in the next one in full chainmail, a total knight, coming in on a stallion with a guitar in my hands.
yes.
I'm going to be playing the neck with my left hand and wielding a sword with my right.
And then he can do some jousting, with the
Yes.
guitar.
Oh, I will joust with the best of them.
So, there you go. We're building your concept here, Keith. So
That's right.
him on a horse and
Well-
his chainmail and jousting. I mean, it's
Listen, he's not that far off because I did purchase a full-fledged hospitaller.
Oh, God.
Amy said, "Ooh, Templar style."
I prefer hospitaller. They were less corrupt than the Templars. And actually, one of the things that I do have planned is a concept EP around the Crusades, just so y'all know.
Very cool, very cool. I love the whole knight stuff, the fantasy, it stimulates your brain to come back to being a kid and being creative and making the stories up in your brain, and
Yep.
and now it was fun because this one has the full storyboard is right there in front of us to see. I'll bring back Musketeer. Like, for me, Musketeer was just a trip to hear Dee doing that very fast vocal line. I mean, and I could see just the Musketeer coming to save the queen, and I don't know.
I wish we could have done a video for that one. It just wasn't in the cards at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, all your songs would be good for very good videos because they all tell a story.
Yep.
It's very thought out, very. You could tell that you're putting a lot of hours into this.
So, that's Patrick's wife.
Can we get Keith and Patrick maybe to joust? See
Yes,
who's gonna win.
sure. Oh, man. And in case anybody was wondering, the photograph you just saw, my wife's profile picture is our dog named Ravioli. So if you want to support Knightfall, just remember you're also helping Ravioli. So it's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful thing. I actually,
Oh my God,
guys,
yes.
I actually have to get off here.
All right.
I have got to go. Did you have like a question or something like that?
Yes, I'm gonna
Okay.
hit you with the Nixus question before you go.
Okay.
Mental health is very important at the Nixus podcast. We always talk about it. If you would get a chance to sit down with a younger version of yourself at any age, what would you tell yourself to help yourself just get through? Because everybody had something at one point in their life. So if you get a chance to sit down with little Patrick, what do you tell yourself?
How young are we talking? Like 10-year-old Patrick, 20-year-old Patrick?
You decide. When was it in your life that you say that you should be sitting down with your younger self to be like, hey, and then what would you say?
Okay. I would want to have a long conversation with Patrick when he was about 18 years old. And I would tell him to just keep the faith, not in any religious sense, but to remember, even though, you know, when you put so much energy and so much effort into creative work, and so much of the time you feel like you're putting music out into the world and it's just being gobbled up by this void, and it can be very disheartening because you really want to share what you're doing with people. It maybe 1 in 10 pieces of music might be heard by some people. I mean, you know, and it can be so disheartening. And I have been doing music my whole life. It's all I've ever done, so I never abandoned it. It's what I've done. And the reason I do it now, it's just because it's what I do. It's just what I do. And if I weren't doing this, I do not know what else I would be doing. But if I could talk to a younger version of myself, I would tell myself to try to be a little more patient with certain opportunities I had in my life. And also, I would try to give myself some very good advice about really just looking before I leap, because I've made a lot of mistakes like everybody else. And there are a lot of things that I wish I'd done differently. There are a lot of things I wish I hadn't done, and a lot of things I wish I had done. And I guess I would try to convince myself to be a little less impulsive, a little less emotional. I was a very, you know, just as a young guy, just really had a lot of fire in me for good and bad. And that motivated me to make some of the best and worst decisions in my life. And I would tell myself to just really look before you leap. Even if something seems great, it might not be. Or if something presents itself to you that doesn't feel particularly promising, be more patient with it and see if it really is. So I would just try to convince myself, I guess, just to be a little less emotional, a little more rational, and just a little more thoughtful in every aspect of my life.
Very good advice. Very good advice.
Well,
little Patrick was adorable. Quite the prodigy, not surprisingly. He practiced 10 hours a day at age 10. He's humble, but just saying he's OG musician that has is great advice.
Well, thank you, dear. Thank you. You're very sweet.
Listen, it's beautiful to see wives coming on and supporting.
Yes, very fortunate.
Because I think that to be great at something, you need the support. And if
Absolutely.
you have the support at home, that's 90% of the fight that's won right there.
Makes all the difference in the world.
True story.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
But I'm going to jump off here, guys. Jessica, Keith, all of you guys, love you all. Thank you so much. It was so great spending time with you.
You
Likewise.
take care, Patrick, and like I said, always have a chair open for you here.
Thanks,
All right.
man.
Thank you. See you guys.
And there were 3. Well, while we're already in it, and I will be ending the interview soon because I have to get all the kids in bed, and school starting. School starting tomorrow. Yay! Big celebration. If they pop a bottle or something tonight. No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna miss them. They drive me nuts. But I know that by like next month I'll be like, oh, it was nice to have them around, you know. Good thing it's just for a few hours a day and then I get them back. But since we're already in the swing of things, Jessica, do you want to take a crack at the question?
Sure. So I think quite a lot about what I would tell a younger version of myself. I would say, probably between the ages of 16 and 25 or so, it was just, a roller coaster of bad relationships and making decisions that weren't necessarily in my best interest. So, what Patrick said about being patient, about opportunities, really rings true for me. Just, be patient, it'll happen, and not jumping the gun. And, dump that guy. He's not good for you. He's not doing you any favors. He's holding you back. Like, just let him go and go do your thing. You're better off. But the past is in the past.
Absolutely, but I asked the question because we never know who might be sitting here and who needs to hear that. Because we're talking to our younger selves, but some people might be experiencing and living through what we've been through in the past. So Keith knows mental health is a really big thing for us. We had a whole special week on it, and we will soon again. I promise. A lot of people are asking about it. I mean, it's therapeutic. We just all hang out on lives. Everybody shares their story, and then everybody kind of feels like crap for a few days and cry a lot, and then we're all feeling better after.
That makes total sense. Yeah, I mean, as a sufferer of depression and anxiety, I definitely can get with that.
And we always have open doors for everybody. My DMs are always open if somebody needs to talk to somebody, to scream at somebody. I mean, I'd rather take some time with you now than mourn a loss later. So just come on in and scream. Let's
just remember that you're not alone, that there are others that are going through some crazy things just like you, and that it's good to talk about it instead of bottle it.
Absolutely. And if you don't want to talk to somebody that knows you, there's plenty of hotlines that you can call where people don't know who you are, and you can talk completely free and not feel bad to say what you're really feeling. Because sometimes when we're talking to people we know, we kind of hold back because we don't want to hurt people. So when you're talking to somebody you don't know, you can really let it all out and hopefully feel better afterwards. Jessica, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me under the Jessica Mercy, and you can also find me on Instagram under Mercy Makes Music. But Jessica Mercy, you can pretty much find me across every avenue. I haven't made myself a music TikTok yet. I should probably do that. But yeah, I'm on YouTube. And
so many social platforms. Many.
Yeah, and you can find me under my band, obviously, Anaria. We will have lots of stuff coming up. I have other projects. I have Cities Below, which is a goth pop project, and I have To the Ancients, which is a Celtic folk project.
That's what we've been saying since the beginning. Busy. Keith,
and she's had other collaborations in the past as well that she's got out there too. So busy.
Yeah, busy, but I love it.
I mean, I could see why people are asking you though, to collaborate with you. You have a very powerful voice. You're a very kind, humble person. You seem like a very fun person to work with. I mean, we've been talking for an hour and a half, and it's all been laughs and giggles, and so it's always nice to be able to talk to people that are very down to earth, very not blasé.
Yeah.
Randy said, by the way, if anyone needs some guitar work, Patrick does sessions work, DM him on Facebook. Absolutely. And he is a beast.
He is.
So good.
You guys need guitars, just send him a message and he will absolutely hook you up with something. I mean, you could hear it. Just go listen to Starfall again. I won't play it again, I promise. Maybe on the next episode, but Second that, see? I mean, incredible people. Incredible. I had the chance to talk to Keith before. Now tonight we had the chance to sit down with you guys. Keith, what are we looking for with Knightfall in the near future?
So, anybody that wants to sing on our song War Cries.
Yes.
The deadline for that is the 28th because putting all those voices together, mixing and all that, and then sending that off to for a final mix to get that choir, that war party sound put together is going to take a little bit of time. So definitely, if you want to be part of that, we're accepting all vocals, female, male, growl, clean, whatever you want to do. That's that project was meant to be kind of like a thing for the indie community to kind of take part in, which I thought was a cool idea. So anybody that wants to do that, please let me know. If you're not already invited to the folder, then DM me and I'll invite you to the folder, and you can do that. Also, if you want to shoot some video of yourselves, we'll try to cut together like a fun, behind the scenes video for that one at some point as well, just to be all inclusive with everybody that took part in it. So that's one of the big ones.
I'll get you my vocals before the 28th, but if I do a whole video, like if we're doing the whole Viking chant, like full face of makeup for the video, like come on guys, if you're doing the video, do it. Ames, you better send him a DM. Let's get you on that track too. I'll be there.
Nope.
I'll try to get Manda too. I mean, the more voices we get, right, the less you have to generate computer.
Right. Or honestly,
like them.
It'll probably be, if I don't get enough, I'll probably end up doing like a bunch of takes of it in the lower registers and stuff like that to make it sound big myself. So it is what it is, but I'd rather have it sound like an actual big group of people.
Different voices, and like
Yeah.
you said, there's no right or wrong voices. Just say
Right.
it. It was Vikings. They weren't singing with pretty voices. It's a war cry. It's a make it come from your belly and make it resonate.
Yeah.
We're going
Be
to war.
fierce.
Exactly. Viking.
That's right.
We're going to war against who though? What's war cries about? If people, can you give us a little?
War cries is definitely like Viking. The lyrics are very Viking, and Stephanie is going to be singing this one, and she can get some very low, deep, and very guttural tones. She's a very good singer, and she can kind of go all over the place, which is the reason why she was perfect for it. She loved that song, that she did like a one take on it with her ideas, like as soon as I sent it to her. And I was like, yep, this is yours. Let's do it. So she's going to be singing that one, but it's very, very much like she's even putting in some like chants that are actual like Viking sayings in there as well. As part of the leads. I can't wait to be able to share it with you once it's done. But the idea though was, when I wanted to do this as an indie project, we're talking about pay to play, we're talking about all the things that make life hard for an independent musician. So this is our war cry against all of that, showing people that we can do this without the major label backing, that it's possible to make music and do it for a living even. Even without all of that extra money. Sure, it would be great, but it can be done.
Absolutely. I have nothing against people that do find labels that work for them, because some labels don't work for you and some do. But I also love to see my independent artists that are busting ass, that are doing everything themselves, that are finding the resource. And I mean, most of the times it's money, like you said. It's money.
And that hard work does pay off, because that's how some of these bands do find label support, is because they're showing that they're doing it without it.
Absolutely. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of, you can't stop. I mean, Carbon Stone, which we had last month, 2 months ago, are doing a show right now with Drowning Pool and Saliva.
Ignesta just got signed to Frontiers.
There you go. Like, it's crazy. It's like that.
Yeah.
You never know. You never know.
know.
Did you think that Starfall would have close to 45,000 views in 2 weeks? Like,
no. I was not expecting that. Like, when I posted the video, I was thinking that maybe it would, because it's a professional video, that it would do better than like those lyric videos that I put up that have maybe 5,000 views. So I was expecting something around there. Within 40,000 plus, getting closer to 50 every single day. No, that was a complete shock. Even Jess and I had a conversation in the back, and we're like, "Wait, what? What's happening right now?" And she's like, "What did you do?" And I was like, "I don't know."
I just uploaded it. Randy said, love the voices so much. Very strong and unique vocals. Love a good, strong female lead vocalist. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love my female fronted bands. I mean, that's what I grew up on. That's what gave me inspiration to touch music myself. In this moment, Evanescence, Nightwish, Lacuna Coil, like all the great ladies, Hailstorm.
Mhm.
And now you guys.
Lizzie.
Yes, now
Yeah.
you guys. Now I listen to Knightfall, Dying Oath, Blackwater Drowning, Nailbite, who lead singer 17. I mean, I'm loving this. The community is amazing.
The talent is there.
Absolutely,
The talent is
absolutely.
there. Two other things. So I still have 2 songs without vocals, without vocalists. All right. So I am still looking for 2 vocalists, and here's the styles that I'm looking for. So one of them is the fastest song that's on the album, and I need somebody that sounds like Nura Luhimo from Battle Beast.
Okay.
That's the vibe. That's the vibe of that song. So I need a female that can really, sound like her, or Nit Vala, which is the original singer of Battle Beast. So if anybody knows anybody that might be interested, send them my way. And then I have another one that's called Remember My Name, which is, like you said, all the songs have stories, right? That one is about Achilles. So it's the story of Achilles. And for that one, I would love somebody that's, like Roy Conner or Tommy from Camelot. Somebody that has that style of vocals. So if y'all know anybody that's interested,
We're gonna have to make a call for that. You're gonna have to make a post so I can share it and start tagging some people. We'll find you some people.
Oh.
I mean, there's enough bands out there. I would be surprised if we can't find you somebody.
yeah. Funnily enough, I have actually reached out to Nit herself and to Dan Betts as well, hoping to see if I can get somebody to get in there and own those 2 pieces of music.
Well deserved. Here's to watching the viewer count grow even more. Ames said, Keith's getting a few inboxes.
That's fine. Send them my way.
Well,
He's like, I
let's-
hope so.
Right, let's go. I want to finish these. Let's see. Nightfall, Starfall. We are at 44,000 views right now.
Yeah, I think it's like 44 and like 900, so it's literally just shy.
We're gonna keep looking. Like, how was it the first day that you said, let me check out my views, and how much was it like?
I want to say it was like close to 5,000, which is what I was expecting, and then the next day when it pumped over 10, I was like, what? And then it just kept going and going and going, and by the time we hit 30,000, I was just like, what is happening right now? We had 127 followers on YouTube. How is this possible? And then, we've grown, like we're over 600, subscribers now, like 630 something subscribers on YouTube now in the course of that 2 weeks, just from people listening.
It's promotion. You've been pushing that song, you've been sharing it, then people share it. You see it here. You have a bunch of people that came in just for you guys. All new people to me, so hello new people. Thank you for being here tonight, but they came for you guys. And I'm happy. I was happy when Keith messaged me and he was like, do you think we could do something for Starfall? I was like, fuck yeah. Let me check out my schedule, because it is, the end of August is crazy. Next week is like four interviews or something like that, and I got invited to go help Rob to do an interview on his side, and I was like, I'm not sure, because I'm already pretty packed. It's beautiful. I love it. It's just a little tiring, but I mean, it's part of the job, right?
Yeah, nothing.
Being live every day. I love it though. Like we were saying earlier, if you don't love what you're doing,
Right.
it's not worth doing it. I love doing this. I love putting on my face and then just sitting here and getting to talk to you guys. I say putting on my face because we were joking that you don't really have to bottom dress when you do these. So, you look really good like neck up and then pajama style in the bottom. Nobody sees it. So,
Right.
anything you would like to tell people? Because I'm obviously I have to let you guys go at one point. I could keep doing this all
Yeah.
night and we could keep talking, but
I just want to thank everybody. The success of this song is overwhelming. to me. I was not expecting that. I am so grateful and so thankful for everybody that's watched it, everybody that's commented, the kind things that everyone has said. Special thank you to Jessica for agreeing to come with me on this journey. And another special thank you to Jessica and Sergio for putting together this amazing video. And they did it so quickly that we talked about this, I want to say at the end of June, that this would be the concept and the idea. And they fit it into their schedule, their very busy schedule, and got it done for the release, which I was not expecting. So I mean, just you guys are amazing. I love you both. You're so awesome to work with. Appreciate everything that you all did on this piece of music, and look at the result. I mean, here it is. So thank you.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for the opportunity. This was a great challenge for me vocally, and it was so fun to be able to work on a fantasy style video. We've been wanting to do something like that for a while, but we just didn't really have the right thing to put with it. So thank you very much, and thank you to everybody's awesome comments and everybody who has supported so far and continues to support. I'm very, very, very grateful.
Well, I have let's put up a goal for everybody that's still here watching. We're at 44,000 views right now. By September, let's hit 100K.
Keep sharing it.
So we got what? We got 2 weeks. So we got 2 more weeks, and let's make it hit 100K. So let's try this, guys.
If you're in groups and stuff like that, share it to the groups.
Share it everywhere.
We need our fruit team. Let's go.
Let's go. Just share it, guys. Like, we have 2 weeks. Let's make this video hit 100K. I think you guys deserve it. Your voice deserves to be heard. Your music deserves to be heard, Keith.
Thank you.
Patrick's guitar. I mean, the 3 of you guys deserve everything that's coming to you guys and much more. And I'm seeing great things for all of you.
Appreciate you.
Well, thank you for being here, guys, on the NYXUS podcast. Guys, we're going to sign out, but thank you, everybody that was here for the... What? You'll be right back too? Okay, we'll be right back, he says. Sorry, guys. Chicken nugget code. For whoever doesn't know, when we call chicken nugget, it's because I have a little person running around. But thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for watching and commenting and giving them some love, because they do deserve it. Chicken nugget.
Thank you, Andrew.
Well, we'll catch you guys. I'm off for a few days, but I'll be back live on Friday. But I'm always around if you guys need me. So
Enjoy
on
your day
this,
off.
thank you. Good night, guys. You keep
Good
rocking,
night.
and we'll keep rocking.
Thank you